The lover who met himself. On the Coniunctio as self-recognition. A man walking one autumn afternoon on a long road met another man walking the other way. The road was empty. They were, for a stretch of perhaps half a mile, the only two figures on it. They saw each other from a distance, the one approaching the other approaching the one, and both, separately, slowed their pace. They had each, from the distance, noticed something strange about the other. The strange thing, when they were within 100 yards, became unmistakable. The man walking eastward and the man walking westward had the same face. They had the same height. They had the same color of hair. They wore different clothes, but the clothes were of the same general kind, the clothes of a man of 40 years of modest means walking between towns on his own purposes. Their faces were identical. They stopped when they were perhaps 10 yards apart. They looked at each other. Neither of them was exactly surprised. The strangeness had been gathering for the last half-mile. They had been preparing in their separate ways for the meeting. Now that they were standing face to face, the meeting felt to both of them less like a shock and more like a recognition, like the recognition of a person one has dreamt of for a long time and finally seen in waking life. The man walking eastward said, "I have been wondering about you." The man walking westward said, "I have been wondering about you also. Have we met? No. And yet, yes." They walked the last 10 yards toward each other. They embraced. They did not speak for some minutes. They held each other in the middle of the road, two men of 40 years, dressed in the modest clothes of their kinds, with identical faces. The road remained empty. No one passed. After some time they released each other. They walked slowly side by side in a direction that was neither east nor west, a direction they made up between them, away from the road, into a small wood by the side of it. There was a clearing in the wood. They sat down in the clearing. They talked for an hour. They told each other their lives. The man walking eastward had been raised in a village to the west by a kind mother and a difficult father, had married at 22, had 2 children, had become a small merchant of cloth. The man walking westward had been raised in a village to the east by a kind mother and a difficult father, had married at 22, had 2 children, had become a small merchant of leather. The biographies, when laid side by side, were almost the same, with the kind of small variations that meant nothing important. The 2 men had each, in their own life, been the same man in 2 villages with 2 wives, with 2 trades, and the lives, when compared, were not different. They were, in some intricate sense, one life lived twice. The man walking eastward said, "How can this be?" The man walking westward said, "I do not know." They sat with the question for a while. The man walking eastward said, "Are you?" "I am you, yes." "And I am you?" "Yes." "How?" "I do not know. The world is, in places, made this way. Most men do not meet their other. Most men go through life believing they are unique, in the way most men are taught to believe. I am only saying that, in some cases, the world makes 2 of one man, and they live different villages, and they grow into similar shapes, and they meet sometimes on a road in autumn. The meeting is the gift. The world cannot do this often. It is doing it for us. I do not know why. Will we stay together? The man walking westward considered. "No," he said at last. "We cannot stay together. We are, by being 2, more than we would be by becoming 1. If we joined into a single man, we would lose the difference. The difference is small, but it is real. The difference is the way the world is shown to me in the village to the west, and the way the world is shown to you in the village to the east. We are 2 pairs of eyes on the same life. To merge would be to see again with one pair. We would lose the other pair. We must go on. We must go back to our wives and our children. I will go east. You will go west. We will each, from this day, carry the other inside us. We will, from this day, be both men. We will not, in our daily lives, know it, but we will, in our deep mind, know it. The world will be doubled for us after today. We will be each of us more than the man we were this morning. Will we ever meet again? I do not know. Perhaps once, perhaps never. Once is enough. The meeting was the gift. The carrying is the work. They stood up. They embraced again. The man walking eastward continued eastward. The man walking westward continued westward. Each of them from that day was both men. They did not, in any visible way, change. their wives did not notice. Their children did not notice. The villagers in their two villages did not notice. They went about their two lives in the two villages with the two wives in the two trades, but each of them in his own life became after that day a man of unusual depth. The man walking eastward, when faced with a difficult decision, would sometimes stop and close his eyes and consult, internally, the man walking westward. The man walking westward, in turn, would sometimes stop in his own decisions and consult the man walking eastward. They did not write each other letters. They did not need to. The consultation was internal. The two men who had been one were after the meeting two in one in each of their separate bodies. They lived another 40 years each. They did not meet again. They died, in fact, on the same night of similar illnesses in their two villages. The wives, in their separate griefs, did not know of one another. The two funerals were held on the same day, perhaps 200 miles apart. Each was attended by perhaps 24 mourners. Each was unremarkable. On the day of the funerals, in the wood by the road where the two men had once met, a small clearing was, for a moment, full of an unusual quality of light. There was no one in the clearing to see it. The light lasted perhaps a few minutes, then was gone. The wood went on as before. Some men in this world are made twice. They live in different villages. They grow into similar shapes. They meet occasionally on a road in autumn. The meeting is the gift. They do not merge. The merging would lose the doubling. They part. Each carries the other inside. Each is, from that day, both. Men, the world is doubled for them after the meeting. Most do not have this meeting. The few who do become, in their deep mind, two in one. Once is enough. The carrying is the work.